Part 4. War on every side. War on every side. Wars. Rumors of wars. Wars. Civil unrest. Civil war. Egyptian versus Egyptian. Babylonian versus Babylonian. Assyrian versus Assyrian. Wars. War on every side. Part 4.
With the timber thereof and the stones thereof. Right, so that's basically the point. So without further ado, let's play the video.
Thing is much more significant here than we're being allowed to know. Why are governments persistently trying to blame Russia and China? I know it's an easy default explanation, but if you remember, there was that Representative Jeff Van Drew in Congress in North America who came out and said that the drones over New Jersey were an Iranian mothership. That never came to anything either. At what stage do we start seriously questioning the veracity of government statements when they issue so many contradictory assertions? Remember, we were told that the drones over New Jersey were FAA authorised research drones, which was a total lie. The FAA came out and categorically denied that they had authorised any overflights in that area.
Germany's interior minister said Saturday that it has noticed an increased presence of drones over parts of the country in recent days. Describing the threat level as high, the minister said that Berlin will be adopting measures to protect itself in response. Take a listen to him earlier.
Wir stellen fest, eine ständige
We note a permanent hybrid threat.
Es geht Sabotage und Spionage
It's about sabotage and espionage.
in vergangenen.
Everyone could hear in the past few days that there has been an increased use of drones over parts of Germany.
Hat auch unsere Nachbarländer berichten.
Our neighbouring countries are also reporting an increase in drones with varying degrees of effectiveness.
Es geht ein Wettrüsten.
Just want to make a quick point. It's possible the Lord is fucking with these devils, alright, with the angels that ride in the vehicles. And they're showing up to their, military bases and doing things. Or just appearing there, being a bother. Because it's almost about that time that he, is around the corner from issuing and installing his AI. And now everybody, according to UK, mandatory digital ID, who's next? America, the daughter of Great Britain, right? If we're that close, it's possible the Lord, have the angels swinging low. And it could be, and this is my humble opinion, it could be just fucking with Edom or preparing. Alright? Letting Edom know, look.
Now, granted, I said that. Remember, I said that in part 1 of the lesson of this little series, war on every side, war. I said that. I said for those generals to have a meeting like that, something had to went down. And what did I say? I said the same thing the brother is bringing out. The chariots, the UFOs, as they call them. They getting prepped and prepared for something big that's on the horizon. And then in the last video, it said that there was something out there. There was something out there in the out there. And then let's not get it twisted. We know how he is, man. He deceives. So that alien invasion, narrative will always be in the back burner. Because they can really do that. They can make it to where, or they gotta shut everything down, or whatever. National threat, or whatever. Alien invasion, some great alien invasion. They can do what they can try to strategically plot and plan some stuff. But at the same time, those angels, the chariots, Yahweh could really be revealing, revealing the angels. They really could be. Yahweh has already revealed the angels, man. Like I said, they already have hovered over the military bases. They have turned the missile asylums off and on. They have harassed the jet fighters, the pilots. There's a bunch of footage of these chariots, these unexplained phenomenon, and so on and so forth. So, however the cookie crumbled, is how the cookie is going to crumble.
What you about to do, okay? You ain't alone, okay? You being watched. The Lord said that in Zechariah 5 that they are a curse that go across the face of the whole earth for everyone that stilleth on this side, all right, and on that side, roughly paraphrasing as I just read the scripture. So these angels are not for you devils. They want to destroy y'all, and it's all due to prophecy. I think of Ecclesiastes 3:1. It says a time, season, and purpose under the heavens. We bring it out all the time, man. All right, a time, season, and purpose under the heavens. When that time is right, that's when they're gonna act out, and they're gonna show up, and they're gonna show out. When Yahweh Shah appear, he lead that charge with the band of angels. Okay, you devils in this kingdom going down, man. You're going down, and it looks like. And this is, I'll say again, my humble opinion from what the reports is, and this is just my humble opinion, because what are the facts? We just hearing them speak about certain things. But the thing is, it sounds like they're trying to hide the fact that they're being bothered. That's what it seems. It seems like they're hiding that they're being bothered, all right, by the angels of Yahweh.
And then that ties into this topic as well, man. War on every side. War on every side. Because Yahweh Shai HaMashiach, who the people of the world and the world ignorantly call Jesus Christ. And in one point in time in life, I used to call him that too, until you awaken. Isaiah 66, man, that great war is coming as well. Yahweh Shai is coming. The chariots are no longer going to come and just scout. Right now, they just come down and scout and they harass. But these chariots, these clouds, they're going to get down and dirty when the final prophecy commence. It says Isaiah 66:15, for behold, Yahweh, Bahashem Yahweh Shai, the Lord will come with fire and with his chariots like a whirlwind to render his anger with fury and his rebuke with flames of fire. For by fire and by his sword will Yahweh, Bahashem Yahweh Shai, Yahweh plead with all flesh, and the slain of the Lord shall be many. That's war on every side. That goes into it even more war. These devils, they got war. They got war with themselves, and they got war with Yahweh and the angels and Yahweh Shai. Revelations 1:7, behold, he comes with clouds, chariots, they call them UFOs. These UFOs have been hovering over military bases. They have been disappearing and reappearing, interdimensional spacecraft. They have been turning on and off missile asylums. They have been harassing these jet pilots, these fighter jets. They just recently, they had a whole hearing on these UFOs, these chariots, these clouds, these angels. And, during the hearing, they displayed a video of, one of America's best, I don't know if it's the best, but it's like the top missile. They shot forth the missile at this angelic, at this chariot. Let's just call it what it is, the chariots of Israel. They shot the missile at the chariot of Israel, and it split. The chariot of Israel split, but it also stayed with the velocity, and it came back and reappeared. So these devils are up against something that they can't even fathom. And that'd be the thing. That'd be my thing. That's my thing, man. You devils is worried about the prophets. You're worried about us. And we're not doing nothing. We don't have nothing. Really can't do nothing. I mean, all we can do is just preach and teach the gospel. And if you really want to be frank as far as like going up against a whole military, what little old prophets, what we're going to do? All we can do is keep the faith. And thy worm, Jacob. You know, that's why Yahweh said, thy worm, Jacob. You know, let's just be real. Let's just keep it a spade. I mean, going against a whole military, nobody can do nothing. I mean, no, like, come on, man. Stop being stupid. Y'all need to be worried about what's up there. That's what you need to be worried about. And I really do think that meeting was probably about that. You know, more so about that. You know, they're probably hiding. You never know with this devil. This devil loves to hide stuff. He loves to hide stuff, man. You don't know. You never know. Something could have happened up there in the heavens, man. They could have seen a mega ship, mega chariot, more clouds, more chariots. They could have encountered something. I don't know. We don't know. We may never know the full truth of the matter. But whatever they saw and whatever they're seeing, or whatever they're getting back, they're scared. They're spooked. They're scared and they're spooked. They're spooked and they're scared. And this is why they haven't. Or this is why they had that meeting, all these war generals and everybody getting prepped and prepared and et cetera, et cetera. Possibly, it could very well be a possibility.
Seems like they're hiding that they're being bothered, all right, by the angels of Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai. You know? So let's continue.
We're witnessing an armament race, an arms race between drone threats and drone defense.
Abwehr.
We must prepare ourselves for this, a race that we must not lose.
Wir nicht verlieren.
And that is why we need to upgrade our technology.
Aufzurüsten.
Well, that announcement from the German Interior Minister came just hours after Denmark made a similar claim. The Nordic country's defense ministry saying that drones were observed at several of its facilities overnight on Friday, following a series of sightings across the country earlier this week.
These incursions, whatever they are, may not necessarily be drones. There are people that have described to me seeing orb-like objects coming into airspace and then in some way morphing into shapes of...
Yeah, Cuddy. Yeah. Yeah, see, that's what it is. These devils know the time is really short. See, that's what it is. They're scared. They're spooked. You know, and they're scared. They're spooked. You know, these angels, the angels, these things that they can't explain, these things that they can't explain is ramping up, man. It's ramping up. War on every side. War on every side. Let's grab Wisdom of Solomon. Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 5, verse 1 through 7. Nope. I'm on Zechariah. Wisdom of Solomon 5 is a good one, but a good precept. Let's grab Zechariah, Prophet Zechariah. No, that's Zephaniah, Prophet Zechariah 5, 1 and 7. See, this is what they're scared of, man. I was on to this though earlier. I said this earlier within the lesson. So, I'm not. It makes sense now. It's starting to make sense now. The angels, they really ramping up, coming down. It says Zechariah, Prophet Zechariah, chapter 5, verse 1 through 7. So they're trying to push everything into gear. Yahweh got them pushing everything into gear because these orbs, let them tell it, or these drones, let them tell it, is getting out of hand. These angels, the angelic, the chariots, the clouds, the flying roes, they're harassing at a high velocity right now, at a high level. They seeing these chariots. They seeing these things that they can't explain. And they're spooked. They're scared. They're shook. War on every side, as the topic is titled, War on Every Side. Zechariah, Prophet Zechariah, chapter 5, verse 1 on down, it says, Then I turned and lifted up my eyes and looked, and behold, a flying roll. The clouds, the chariots, the angelic transport that's going to come and beam up the elect. Also, the flying transports that's going to come with Hamashiach, Yahushai, according to 2nd Esdras 13 and many other prophecies. Some real Star Wars type stuff is going to happen when that army of hosts returns, the heavenly army. It says, and he said unto me, what seest thou? And I answered, I see a flying roll, the length thereof 20 cubits, and the breadth thereof 10 cubits. Then said he unto me, this is the curse that goes forth over the face of the whole earth. For everyone that steals shall be cut off, as on this side according to it, and everyone that sweareth shall be cut off, as on that side according to it. I will bring it forth, said Yahweh of hosts, and it shall enter into the house of the thief. And who's the biggest thief and the biggest stealer on the earth? Who goes to every land, rape, rob, pillage, colonize? What nation of people, or nation of a man, what man of a nation, what man of a specific nation goes around throughout the whole beautiful earth and rapes, robs, lies, deceives, pillage, and colonize? Don't worry, I won't wait. It says, and I will bring it forth, said Yahweh of hosts, and it shall enter into the house of the thief. So yeah, you're the thief. You're the thief, O Edom. It says, and into the house of him that swore falsely by my name, and it shall remain in the midst of his house, and it shall consume it with the timber thereof and the stones thereof. Then the angel that talked with me went forth and said unto me, lift up now thy eyes and see what it is that goes forth. And I said, what is it? And he said, this is an ephod that goes forth. He said, moreover, this is their resemblance to all the earth. And behold, there was lifted up a talent of lead, and this is a woman that sitteth in the midst of the ephah. And he said, this is wickedness, and he cast it into the midst of the ephah, and he cast the weight of the lead upon their mouth. And I lifted up my eyes and looked, and behold, there came out 2 women, and wind was in their wings, for they had wings like the wings of a stork. And they lifted up the ephah between the earth and the heaven. Then said I to the angel that talked with me, whether do these things bear the ephah? And he said unto me, to build an house in the Lord of Shinar. But what is it? Zechariah 6. I says, and I turned and lifted up my eyes and looked, and behold, there came 4 chariots out from between 2 mountains, and the mountains were mountains of brass. And the first chariot were red horses, and the second chariot black horses, and the third chariot white horses, and the fourth chariot gristled and bay horses. Then I answered and said unto the angel that talked with me, what are these, my Lord? And the angel answered and said unto me, these are the 4 spirits of the heavens, which go forth from standing before the Lord of all the earth. Going down, it says, there was one is verses where it goes into the angels, where it goes into explaining what the angels, but I can't find that. I think that's probably in Ezekiel. But yeah, man, I think that's what it is too. Let's get back into the rabbit hole.
Orb-like objects coming into airspace and then in some way morphing into shapes of aircraft. I have people that have shown me images of what looked like the shapes of a 737 or a commercial passenger jet moving at impossibly slow speeds over parts of New Jersey and New York. It's the same in Copenhagen. Martin tells me that some of the witnesses in Copenhagen estimated the size of this object as the size of an A380 aircraft, the largest commercial passenger jet.
All right, so, with that being said,
And that can, and you see, you hear, can you conceive, do you believe? That wouldn't be a bad trump card. That wouldn't be a bad trump card. Pun intended. Trump. Donald Trump is the current president. Trump card. Trump. The last trumpet. The last Trump blow the trumpet, Trump card, Donald Trump, trumpet, Trump. That wouldn't be a bad trump card, man, to say the alien invasion. Because I mean, the alien invasion. And they've been telling and warning the public. They've been telling and warning the public that there's aliens and this yada yada. So a trump card or ace card or a signature finish. You know how the fighter got the signature move, the signature finish, wrestler signature move. This alien invasion still could be on the tables. I wouldn't be surprised. I wouldn't be surprised at all. Let's go into this right here.
BetMGM Casino has so many jackpots, you never know when one will go. So many.
BetMGM Casino.
Well, RFK Jr. just laid it out this week, and the mainstream media sought to vilify him, of course, once again, for focusing on the data. Specifically, he said America is now the sickest country in the world. For the first...
No duh. No duh. No duh. Chemtrails, GMOs, pesticides, herbicides, fluoride, pharmaceuticals cut with garbage. No duh. Dyes all in your clothes, dyes and chemicals all in your dish liquid, dish soaps, your shampoos. No duh.
First time in modern history, our life expectancy in the United States has dropped significantly. 6 whole years. Watch.
We are now the sickest country in the world. We announced this week, CDC.
He even sounds sick himself. He's supposed to be the doctor and supposed to be the health guru, and listen how he sounds.
Announced that 76.4% of Americans are suffering a chronic disease. And my uncle was president, it was 11%. In 1950, it was 3%. And we're the sickest country in the world. We have the highest chronic disease burden of any country in the world. We've lost 6 years in lifespan and longevity to Europe in the past 20 years.
But of course, the mainstream media is trying to blame lower life expectancy on COVID. It was COVID. That's how it skewed the numbers. Too many people died of COVID because they didn't get a vaccine. You need to go out and get a vaccine. Like, they never stop. It's unbelievable. Not so fast. I mean, they think we are absolutely stupid to analyze this latest data. And there's new data out about the global life expectancy right now. We're going to get into all of that and more.
You Americans, man, y'all don't, you like to shove everything down your throat. You go into the stores and you just pick up stuff and just eat stuff. You don't read the labels. Anything that you put inside your mouth should be simple food. It should be simple. It should have 1 or 2 ingredients. Maybe 3 ingredients at the max. And I get it. The cost of living is so high. Money runs so thin. You got to buy the cheaper stuff. And 9 times out of 10, the cheaper stuff is the stuff with all the garbage in it. And that's by design. That's all by design. This is why we call this man the damn devil. He's the damn devil. It says the earth is given into the hand of the wicked. He covered the faces of the judges thereof. Not who and where is he? He's the damn devil, man. Now let's grab Micah 2. So it's no surprise that most people, what did he say? He said 60%. He said 60% of Americans are dealing with chronic issues. It says, woe, Micah 2:1, it says, woe to them that devise iniquity and work evil upon their beds. When the morning is light, they practice it because it is in the power of their hand. Yeah, man, the devil. It says, and they covet Esau, Edom. It says, and they covet fields and take them by violence and houses and take them away. So they oppress a man in his house, even a man in his heritage. So no getting around who the son of perdition is, who the vessels fitted for destruction. There's no getting around who they are. There's no getting around it. War on every side. Pestilences, swords, teeth of wild beasts, famines, It's war on every side. What did I want to grab? Did I want to grab something else? You know what? I think this is going to end it. I'm going to end the series right here. I mean, if you don't...
We're going to get into all of that and more. We asked Kim Bright to join us. She's the founder of Bright Core Nutrition. She spent her entire life fighting to make America healthy again. And she knows these demons in the mainstream media who try to vilify these messages on a regular basis. Kim, welcome back to the show. Great to see you.
Oh, great to see you too, Clayton. Thanks for having me back.
My pleasure. I wanted to have you on to talk about this life expectancy stuff and what RFK Jr. has been up against, but specifically, he laid it out there about America's life expectancy, about how sick with chronic diseases the United States is. But then on the back of that, suddenly we get this new study from the global life expectancy study from Think Global. It says it has declined for the first time in 30 years globally, not just in the United States. So
that's right.
Yep, and you people, man, you don't fast. You Babylonians, you Egyptians, you Assyrians, you Romans, you Greeks. You don't fast. Fasting is a great way to heal your body. It's all about your cells. Your cells, your cells, your cells. It's all about your cells. Right now, we're in the Day of Atonement. And many brothers and sisters are fasting right now. You know, and I'm about probably like, it's 1 o'clock right now, probably about 10 hours in right now, coming up on 10 hours in. You know, it's a 24-hour fast. That's nothing. Just get it done. But Day of Atonement and fasting, that's how you heal your body. Your body heals itself when you fast. You know, it's autophagy, ketosis, autophagy. The cells, the body has its own cleaning mechanism to where it goes and gets rid of all of the damaged cells and cleans your cells and give you new cells. That's how you stay healthy, by the regeneration of new healthy cells. A person that's sick has old, dirty cells. And you got to clean it up through alkalinity. Alkalinity, man. Alkaline foods. That's how you clean up the body. Alkaline foods, fasting, and exercising. Move those cells. It's all about your cells.
What do you think is causing this?
Well, I think there's some very evil reasons behind it. I mean, I'll get to in a minute, but, you know, in 2014, U.S. life expectancy peaked at 78.8 years, and then it declined and dropped drastically in 2020 and 2021. And, you know, they want to make it seem like COVID was the reason for this lower life expectancy throughout the 20th century, but clearly it began before COVID in 2014. And the sharpest decline since 2020, Clayton, well, it didn't happen when the pandemic started, but when the vaccine was introduced. So, you know, that tells us something there. And then, of course, COVID's no longer in the top 10 causes of death. And, you know, there's more people dying of suicide now, which is so sad because now we've got to bring the mental health into it as well. But, you know, the life expectancy is not bouncing back the way that we...
You know, people suiciding themselves. People sick, overworked. See, this is what happens when you live under the damn devil. Roughly paraphrase, try to find it. Let's see if I can find it. This is what happens when you live under the damn devil. The damn cancer of the earth. This is what happens when you live under the devil. Proverbs chapter 29, verse 2, it says, when the righteous are in authority, who are the righteous? The vessels created for mercy, which is the Israelites. It says, when we rule and come back into rulership, everything is going to be peaches and cream for everybody. Eventually, you nations are going to get your butt whooping Your nations are going to get your butt whooping for what you did to us and what you continue to do, and for all of your sins. You know, that's that Revelations 2:26-27, Isaiah 14:1-2, that Joel 3:5-7. You know, you're going to get the recompenses. But after that, everything is going to go back to beautiful paradise earth. It's going to be so good on the earth in the kingdom of heaven to where you nations are going to grab the skirt of a Jew. You're going to grab the skirt of a Jew and say, hey, we will follow you and serve your God in his ways, because we see that it is prosperous and glorious and healthy. It's good for our health that we follow your God, the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. See, when you have the devil ruling, this is the stuff you got to worry about. Chemtrails, fluoride, GMOs, pesticides, pharmaceuticals cut with garbage, genetic engineering of cloud seeding and fake food and clone food and lab meat and garbage. That's all I can say. Garbage. Proverbs 29:2, it says, when the right processed food and fast food, garbage, no minerals, no nutrition. When the righteous, Proverbs 29:2, it says, when the righteous are in authority, the people rejoice. Oh, being overworked. That's another thing. That's why life expectancy is down too. Being overworked, stressing. Yeah, that brings down life expectancy as well. You know, being overworked and stressing, cost of living, that lowers all your life expectancy. It's all garbage. Proverbs 29:2, it says, when the righteous are in authority, the people rejoice. But when the wicked bear rule, the people mourn. And that's the point. And right now you have these Edomites, the king of Babylon, running this little empire for the time being. And as you can see how, you know, Salak, it says, you can see how things are turning out. Everything is in shambles. You know, everything is in shambles because the vessels of destruction, the base, you know, the Bible calls them the base men. This is the bases of men. And this is how you know Yahweh is truly in action, because the bases of men is running the earth, and they rub it in your face. You know, those old 2000 commercials, early 2000 commercials, maybe 90s commercials, late 90s commercials. And used to say those Geico commercials, it's so easy that a caveman can do it. You know, because, people lived in the caves. Let's just call history. Daniel 4:17, this matter is by the decree of the watchers, and the demand by the word of the holy ones, to the intent that the living may know that Yahweh rules in the kingdom of men and gives it to whomsoever he will. And right now he has given the kingdom to the bases of men. It says, and set up over it the basis of men. And that's who he is. He's the basis of men. Petra Jordan, Mount Seir, Caucasus Mountains, the mountain of Petra Jordan. No wonder why the world is shit. It's dung. No wonder why the world is dung. Because you got the basis of men running everything. You got the vessels fitted for destruction. You got the wicked ruling. How else is the world supposed to be? You watch the movies. You watch the shows. You watch the animes. You watch whatever you watch. You see when the antagonist and the wicked is running things, how everything is in shambles. And then when the protagonist steps back up and gets back where he's supposed to be, how everything goes back to the way it's supposed to be. That's how it's going to be when the vessels of mercy come back into power, when the Israelites, when we come back into our rightful rulership, when we come back on the glorious throne, when we return and bring everything the way it's supposed to be. You know, Trump talking about this golden era. Trump, I don't see no golden era, my guy. It's looking like a cold era to me, my guy. It's looking like a cold era to me. I'll let this finish on, then we're going to end this series with this. War on every
It's not
side.
bouncing back the way that we would expect it to if COVID was the primary cause of the sharp decline in 2020 and 2021. But, you know, you look at all the complications, the premature deaths that resulted since the COVID vaccine was widely administered. And, you know, it seems like the likely culprit. And I'm sorry, but no matter how hard they try to tell us.
Oh, man. War on every side. Everything just fits. It just ties in. War on every side. You can't even, the very thing that brings life, you know, sex, intimacy, intercourse, the pleasure that comes with sleep. You can't even do that because everybody has a damn bug in them, you know, just about. You know, STDs is rampant throughout Babylon. STDs is rampant throughout Babylon. You can't even enjoy the very thing that brings life into the world. And not only life, but pleasure. Because it's for both. It's for life and it's for pleasure. It's for pleasure and it's for life. You know, because all this whoredom going around, STDs is at a high rate, rampant. Everybody got a bug. You gotta use a condom. I guarantee you, if you go back into any time when the Israelites was running things and ruling, I guarantee you we didn't have condoms. I guarantee you we didn't have condoms in our kingdom. King David, King Solomon, King Rehoboam, King Jeroboam, King Hezekiah, all of our kings and judges. When the vessels of mercy was running things, I guarantee you there was no such thing as a condom. So life expectancy, you can't even enjoy the very thing that creates a life and pleasure because everybody has a bug. Everybody's running to the clinic. Everybody is burning. She's burning. He's burning. So this is what happens, man. This is what happens when the vessels of wrath fitted for destruction is ruling, when wickedness is at an all-time high, when prophecies are just jumping off the pages.
Health is not found in a vaccine. Natural immunity, totally superior to synthetic immunity, and as well, gut health. You know, most of our immune system is in our gut. So
the White House, you bring up a great point. Yeah, on the one hand,
and these health agents, these health advisors, you know, they be having some stuff, but they really don't be knowing everything. Like, they keep talking about the immune system. It's the lymphatic system. The lymphatic system. That is your key to health. Moving and cleaning that lymphatic system. That's what keeps you healthy.
RFK Jr. telling us all of this. And then on the other hand, you literally have Pfizer in the White House this week.
Today.
Today. I mean, talk about the dichotomy there.
The lymphatic system is the cellular drainage of all the dead and yuck and gut of cells of the body. It's the sewer system. If the cardiovascular system is the circulation system of the body, then your air circulation, your cardiovascular system is like the air circulation system. Then your lymphatic system would be the sewage system of the body. Keeping that lymphatic system clean and moving is the key to wellness, is the key to health. That's why you need your alkaline foods. You need your lymphatic pumping, your lymphatic pushing foods, exercising, rebounding, and dry brushing. These are things.
Well, here we are. We've got, the head of Pfizer in the president's office, and he's lowering prices. And President Trump said
But with that, man, I'm going to say, call Halam La Yahweh, Bahashim Yahweh Shai, Bahashim Rakakadash, Barakata Yahweh, Barakata Yahweh Shai. War on every side, war on every side. Civil unrest is coming. World War III is coming. And it don't get better. It doesn't get better. It don't get better. It doesn't get better. The prophecies tell us and inform us, and this is why we tell you and inform you, that it don't get better. It don't get better. It doesn't get better. How can it get better when you have the vessels of wrath fitted for destruction or destruction running this place? How can it get better? And that's just biblical prophecy. Shalom, shalom, abad babal.